Woman DJ and someone who's been in the game for a while, can you talk about how important it is to mentor younger women young girls that want to be DJs? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good. I particularly like passing on my knowledge, whatever I've learned throughout my career, to other women and even men, but I guess especially women, just by default, because we have a different battle. We have to fight to get our money. We have to just different.
We don't get as much money.
I get mine, but
yeah,
I have to. But I have to fight.
Right, it's a constant struggle.
And it's just because it's such a male-dominating field. I just watched. I watched the guys. I'll call them out. I watched them Wednesday down at the Comos, and I like all the cats. They're all fine. But I just watched how I'm going to call it the pound, the hound. It's a bunch of gurus. I don't know how many of them in the group. What is it? The Guru House? What they called?
Groove.
Yeah. Well, whatever. In any case, I stood back and watched it. I played there last week, and I watched. And it was all cool. But I watched this week, and not only did they let them play all over into their main set, it's like they gathered around like pack hounds and was cheering each other on. They wasn't moving the crowd, but they were sure enough getting off on each other. I looked at that, I went, what? Trust me, if they were jamming, I'd have been right up there with them saying, get it.
Right.
They wasn't even jamming. Nah, you can put that on record. Now, and the people was like, okay. But they were sure getting off on each other. But that's a male-dominant thing.
Yeah.
That's not just in DJing. I recognize it. I've been around.
It's kind of like guys rah-rah in football. And
That's exactly.
Lose it,
Exactly.
I mean,
I'm looking at
this.
It's
a guy male spirit
and
thing.
I'm going like, really? I had them twirling, and I mean, they was getting it. And the minute they started getting too high, he run up there and push me off the thing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's a modus operandi with that particular evening, but we're not going to speak on that.
I'm like whatever. Like, you ain't making or breaking me, fool.
Yeah, I want to bring it back around to Girls Rock, because this is where we are today. We're with Girls Rock, and I want to know, Stacey, what does Girls Rock mean to you? I mean, I've seen you give so much to these girls in the 2 hours I was here today. So can you talk a little bit about why that Girls Rock is important to you?
It's important because I want them to step into it. I don't want to say more smart, but would have more knowledge than I ever had in stepping in. So if I can just pass over some of my knowledge quickly for them to know, so in the event they choose this for a career or whatever direction they try to take them into, I think is great. In addition to me teaching them how to DJ, to play music, I'm teaching them other life skills. My biggest number one lesson that I teach when I'm teaching kids, and sometimes boys or girls, is to listen. I said, you have to listen, because that's how you learn. And you're not only going to listen to what you're getting ready to do with the song, you're going to listen to what's happening. You're going to listen to what I'm telling you. You're going to listen to, you got to listen.
If you're talking, you ain't listening.
You ain't listening, you got to listen.
If you ain't listening, you ain't learning.
So one of my questions on the thing is, my last question, and it floors them every time I say, what do you hear? It just throws them. What do you hear? What? Huh? And then I point out how I made them listen. And then,
good girl. That's awesome.
So you listen to, you learn from listening.
That's right.
That's it. That's the biggest lesson teaching DJ. So it's life. It's not just DJing, but you got to listen, because what you're gonna play.
So what do you think what do you think Girls Rock has given the girls this week? What's the biggest thing? I mean, from my perspective, it looks like confidence.
Confidence, self-esteem. It's been many different classes going on. They had a big old counseling, some kind of session. They had them write down something that bothered them or that may have happened in their life, and they wrote it on a piece of paper, and the instructor, it was like a counseling session, and they pulled up the piece of paper and they read it off and asked how would you handle it, and they did some role playing. It was great. It's a great camp. It's a great camp. So it dealt with personal issues, music. It covered everything.
Sounds like it really delved into the whole person in music. The whole person being in music.
Yep, they did in arts. It was a lot of things.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about, did Girls Rock Camp address Detroit and its soulful history in music, Detroit's musical history in soul, Paradise Valley Jazz,